Peace, brothers and sisters. This is Dr. Siddiqui Chebaye, and I'd like to speak to you today in reference to emotions. Emotions. And emotions is a natural, instinctive state of mind that is based on circumstances, moods, and your relationship with others. Emotions. When you take a good look at emotions, you will find out as a people, we are emotional by nature. We're emotional by nature. But sometimes, we allow people to play on our emotions. Because real people love deep and they love hard. And a lot of people take advantage of that. And we also understand that the female out of the team, which is the man, the woman, and the child, is the emotional one. She's the nurturer. She's the caretaker. She helps keeps the balance. But she has to be careful on how she uses her emotions. Because one thing about the enemy, he understands structure, the man, the woman, and the child. And in his mind, he said, if I can get that one in the middle, I can get that person to work both ends. And that's what is happening today. Too much of it is happening today. They're playing on the middle one to win her over. Now, an example of that is when you go to interviews. When you go to the interview, you got the man and the woman. They go to the interviewer always zero in on the female. And the female usually gets excited about the product and she wants it. And she tries to convince the man to get it. But he says, no, not right now. We can't afford it. But a lot of times, we got to have it. I want it. And if you're not careful, you bring division in the family. You have to be on one accord before you go into these interviews. You have to be intentional about that, brothers and sisters. We got to be. Since or when you have emotions and feelings, that only lets you know that you got a heart. But don't let your heart lead the way. Let your mind lead the way. Let your mind lead the way, because everything is mental first. And we must use our God-given senses. And when you are approaching and addressing an issue, you have to guard your heart and use your mind. You have to be intentional about that, brothers and sisters. We have to be. We must mind up, man up, woman up. We must do that and be good examples for our children, our future, because everything is mental. But they flipped us upside down and made us from spiritual to physical. Now we measure everything on how we feel. Feelings come and go like the weather. And that is the very thing that always got us in trouble. Why continue to rely on that? It could be a sign of insanity if you continue. Because when you put the ingredients in the bowl, you will always get the same product. So stop fooling yourself, brothers and sisters, and be more mindful that we are spiritual first. And we must use our emotions wisely to protect one another. To protect one another. And one significant way of measuring your growth and your development is the more spiritual you are, the less emotional you are. Let me say that again. The way that you can measure your growth and your development is the more spiritual you become, the less emotional you will become. Because it's all about getting the job done. It's all about finishing. It's all about completing the mission. And we must do all we can to make that happen as a team, as a family. Relationship is a cure-all for everything, the very thing we take for granted. relationship. Everybody needs somebody. In conclusion, brothers and sisters, too much of anything is not good. It's all about balance. We must represent balance. Balance. We must balance each other. In life, everything is measured by balance. Your awareness of self. Let's know who we are so we'll know what we need to be about. Self-preservation is the key to it all. Brothers and sisters, have a great life. I love you, I bless you, and I want you to prosper. Peace, and do the right thing to get what's yours. Have a blessed life. Peace.